Welcome to the All Need Music Podcast. I'm Matt,
And I'm Jesse.
and we are back for season two. And
Season 2, everybody.
this is episode one. So glad to be back. Had a nice little time off.
How the
Siesta,
hell have you guys been?
right?
I miss you
Right.
guys.
Probably not as much as they missed us.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
Yep.
No, I mean, I know a lot of you guys still been engaging on the social medias. We've been staying active there. But like even your favorite TV shows, they take a little hiatus and recharge, regroup, take care of life. And, we both still have our regular jobs that I don't think either one of them are really 9 to 5s. They're more like,
All the time.
sun before the sun up to well after the sun down. So sometimes you just got to take a little bit of a break, have a breather, and take care of life.
It's kind of like Yellowstone. We wanted you guys to anticipate season 2. So, I know you were missing on Rip here. I've been taking care of Beth. So,
Oh man!
And Kevin Costner's still here. He's not off in this one just yet. That's like season 5.
Oh, you're gonna kill me in season 5?
Yeah. Hey, but Luke Grimes still rocks it, so we're good. Yeah.
Well,
hopefully we make it to season 5.
Right. So we're back, and lots of cool things happening. Lots of not so cool things happening. I mean, if you guys have been following us on the old TikTokies, if you still have it on your phone and didn't delete it before panic set in, and still get to watch TikToks.
What was that? All 4 hours of it?
12.
12? Was it 12?
Do you know how many people, though, that I know that deleted the app as soon as it went dark? They were just like, I'm done. Deleted it. And
Didn't
now they're like,
was.
Then it comes back and they're like, oh, what? I don't have it no more.
I don't have all my subscribees and my followers.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's still live on my phone. I never deleted it. And so when it came back on 12 hours later, good to go.
I think I don't use TikTok that much at all. And it never even showed on my phone that it was gone. I think that thing popped up as soon as I opened it, because Tosh was like, oh, it's gone. And she showed me what it said on hers. And by the time I actually opened it, I think it flashed, but then right away it was back. So
yeah,
I didn't miss it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the end of the world for me. I was watching reels on Instagram and Facebook. So
right.
You basically get a lot of the same content. I know we do the same thing. So you'll see content on our Facebook that you'll see us post on our Instagram, that you'll see us post on TikTok. So,
right.
A lot of creators do the same thing. So if you don't get it from one, you get it from another. But
how that CapCut or whatever that you got?
Yeah.
You can make it without the TikTok logo, so then you can make it as a reel or Facebook story or whatever, or a TikTok. So
right. Yep. Yeah. So my phone automatically saves it. So if I the Faster Horses cancellation video that I did. Mm-hmm. So it was on my phone from me recording it. And then when I uploaded it to TikTok, it automatically saves the TikTok version to my phone as well. So I have both the original that I recorded and that one. So,
look at you, content creator.
I don't know why it does that. I couldn't tell you. It just does. So
is that new fancy Samsung phone?
Probably. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, for those of you that have just started following us from that video, I know we got a huge surge of new followers, over 100 new followers just from that video alone. Thanks for joining us. We hope you like what we have to put out, what we have to say, our silly shenanigans, and hopefully you like country music, because that's pretty much what we talk about for the most part.
Y'all need music.
That's right. So
music.
On that note, I guess we could delve in a little bit to the disappointment that I'm not all that surprised about. I called it before it happened that I thought that was going to be the case.
Yeah, we've been talking about it since last year.
Yeah. So as time went on and everyone was waiting for an announcement from Faster Horses on the dates, which, the dates are always out well before January, right?
Half the time they used to post them like the last night as Sunday when the concert got over, they posted dates for next year.
Yeah, after COVID, they didn't do that.
Right, it kept getting later and later and later of when they would release them.
They've always released the headliners and the pre-sale dates, in January.
Right.
And
right, because that's when we buy like our campsites and everything is in January.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I knew there was like a mediocre Happy Holidays post around Christmas. Prior to that, it was a lengthy amount of time with no engagement from their socials at all.
Right.
It just had all the writing on the wall that they were going to pull something like this. And I'll give them credit. There was somebody who commented on the TikTok post that said, well, at least they didn't, do the pre-sale and then cancel, which,
right.
I'll give them credit for that because I would have been super duper pissed if I would have gave them thousands of dollars, right? Because we have a huge cluster of sites and, all of that comes to me. And so I pay it and then collect from our group. And it's literally thousands of dollars for all of our sites, not counting tickets at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what do we have? 7, 8 sites?
7, yeah.
7.
So
Graves Farm, baby.
Right. Well,
used
to be anyway.
Used to be, yeah.
But there's a lot of people. My work doesn't require it, and I know yours doesn't either. But some employers, I guess, you have to put in your time off requests like months and months months and months in advance.
Yeah. Sometimes you're in advance.
Right. And so
especially summer.
There's people commenting saying like, man, I put in my time off and now we're screwed and got nothing,
Mm-hmm.
And people that are going to other festivals that are like, great, now I can go to this other festival, but I don't have any,
time off, PTO.
Or they don't have like us. We, I always call it squatters' rights, but it's not technically what it is. But we can renew our same sites, during a pre-sale before the general public, and that's what allows us to keep the same sites year after year after year after year where we like to be. We've got a good group of people. It's in a great location, and we don't want to give that up. And we've been fortunate to have that. So all these people that are now jumping to other festivals are coming in
bottom of the barrel,
right, as first timers essentially, with no campsites, no pre-sale stuff, nothing. And so if all the good stuff's already sold, VIPs, whatever, you're SOL. You're starting out at the bottom somewhere else.
Right. And that can leave a bad taste in people's mouth. The first few years that we went to Faster Horses, we were at Brooklyn Trails, and it was fine, but it was insane. It was not great campsites, very narrow. And those sites, I think every single year you could buy those the day of pretty much because they never sold out. And I think that was where the newcomers kind of went and everything. And after the group that I started with didn't renew their sites from that year, that's when we jumped on with you.
Yep.
But it was one of those things that I was take it or leave it. I love the music, love the concerts and everything like that. The camping was pretty horrible. You were packed in like sardines and it just, bad shower facilities and it wasn't great. And so
then you moved up to the high life with me.
Yeah. Right. And where it was
uncle in Bel Air.
Yeah, baby. But yeah, so if you're going to one of these new festivals and you're, it could be a badass festival, But if you have a bad experience with it because of a shitty campground, or you didn't get the seat you wanted, or anything
Yep.
like that, you might be like, you know, I might not go back again. And that's kind of, I mean, I would hope that these music festivals, that's what they want, is for people to just keep coming back every year, year after year. So
Yeah. Well, and this may be a very unpopular opinion, and you know, at this point, I don't care. Um, you know, Live Nation um, did everybody dirty by this.
yeah,
And it's not the first time they've done stuff like this. You know, for those of you that don't know, Live Nation owns Ticketmaster, which you know is a whole nother story, right?
legalized
When
scalping.
yeah, when you want to go to concerts to see artists you want to see, and you're getting bent over the barrel to the point where artists are now like holding tickets in reserves
Right.
to like be able to put them out later for actual fans of their music. Um, you know,
Right. Jelly Roll did
some
that a few years ago at one of his, and the event, they got mad at him because he held so many tickets to sell on his site and everything like that to actual fans.
right, yeah. So I mean, it's like at some point, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, and by all means, if somebody at Live Nation sees this, hears it, whatever, and wants to come on and talk, like I'm all about having a conversation
Absolutely.
with somebody, you know, even BOC. But it feels to me, as a fan, that the money is more important to Live Nation than anything else. The
Yeah.
fan experience doesn't matter. The actual fans of the music doesn't matter. It's become a lot like professional sports where they've priced the average Joe out of being able to go to baseball games, basketball games, football games, whatever it may be,
Right.
uh, by just jacking things up more and more and more and more. And the average working class person is like, man, like, I mean, realistically, we talked about this, right? Is, you know, as a couple going to Faster Horses, you're going to
Like me and
drop.
you.
No, like me and Megan or you and Tasha.
Oh.
I know you've been missing me during the hiatus, but I hope you're not missing me that much. So, at any rate, you know, you're going to drop, you know, easy a grand, no questions asked.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that's starting point. I feel like
That's just drinks.
between between you know, a campsite and two tickets, you know, you're almost a grand right there, and that's
Right.
not counting gas to drive there and back. That's not food, that's not drinks, that's not any merch that you want, nothing. That's
Right.
just straight up, you know, two tickets and a campsite.
Right. Right. Not the
So
4 days of excitement and entertainment.
right, well, and that's the thing, is like, you know, in the past, you got more bang for your buck with Faster Horses. You used to be able to have multiple people on a campsite, and they, you know, gradually widowed that
Right.
down to where, you know, you couldn't do that anymore. So you couldn't, the cost cutting options just weren't there for people. You know, they did a Thursday night kickoff concert in the past, you know, and the other festivals do that every year. You know, that was like a
Mm-hmm.
one and done.
Right.
You know, they've gotten rid of a lot of the different activities that they've had, and rides or whatever. You know, it's like we're going to take stuff away, but every year we're going to raise the price more and more, and it kind of leaves you wondering, like, well, what am I getting for my money?
Right.
Right. So,
1950 beers.
right.
When we
Yeah.
first started coming, it was $9, I believe, which was still outrageous.
That was a tall boy, though. In all
It was a
fairness.
tall boy. In all fairness, and I know inflation and everything has gone up, but like I can get that same tall boy from the gas station. It used to be 99 cents. Now it's $1.25, maybe $1.50. How do you go from $9 for the tall boy to 19.50? You know,
Right.
it's not the beer distributor that's charging that much, because you can still get it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, you can go to Walmart and get a tall boy for under $2,
right.
And I get they're marking stuff up. They got to pay vendors to walk
Yeah.
around in the crowd and sell and everything like
Yeah.
that. But to me, if you're going to keep raising the prices pretty substantially year after year, give me something.
Hmm.
Give me something back. Make something better. You know, whatever
Right.
it may be. And they just haven't done that. And you know, I'm of the belief that Faster Horses is done.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some people think it'll be back next year. Maybe it will. I don't know. I tend to think that they're done, and so I would just warn anybody that goes to any of their other festivals like Tortuga, Seven Peaks. What's the one in
Watershed.
Watershed up in Washington State? They might pull the rug out from underneath you at any time.
Hmm.
And at some point, as fans, you kind of have to like step up on your own and say, I ain't doing it.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it.
Hmm.
And unfortunately for, country music fans in Michigan, um, from what I understand, Tailgates and Tall Boys isn't coming back this year either.
Yep.
Um,
Canceled as well.
so that leaves really one country music festival that you can go to, and that's Rock the Country in Hastings
Hmm.
at the end of June, right?
Yep.
I think or 17th of June, maybe.
Yeah. June
Um,
16th, 17th, something like that.
yeah. At any rate, that's it.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Did you see that article? And I know that 90% of what you read on social media, I don't know if it was Facebook or whatever, but it was in one of those Faster Horses 2025 groups, I think, that we're in. But they were like, is Kid Rock behind, Faster Horses, since he's bringing Rock the Country to Michigan? Like, he already got a bunch of artists, a talent pool of artists to come and play that Faster Horses didn't have anybody to dig from. And I was like, I don't really think so, because Rock the Country, and I'm not 100% sure on this, has only been going on for a few years. And this, like you were saying, Watershed, Tortuga, Faster Horses, these are all 10 plus year events that are well known festivals that
right.
I don't think that, BOC, like, he's got all these other artists going to Tortuga and all these other things. Like, Faster Horses would be one that he lines up anyhow. So I don't think that held much substantiary, of Kid Rock, of why would he want to take stuff away from Michigan in the music sense.
Yeah. So Rock the Country is somehow, obviously, it's Kid Rock. But I just double checked it. It's Peachtree Entertainment,
Okay.
and they're based out of Georgia. There's no connection to Live Nation or Ticketmaster, so totally separate.
Right.
Just like lots of the other festivals are, they're totally separate. They're not not everything is Live Nation, backed or whatever,
Affiliates, right.
or affiliated in any way. So it's something entirely different.
Right.
And usually what I've noticed is, you'll see a lot of crossover artists. So oftentimes Tortuga's lineup is out well before Faster Horses. Generally speaking, you can count on about 60 to 70% of
Right.
those
A lot of the
artists
same people.
also being at Faster Horses and also being at Watershed. A little bit
Right.
different with Seven Peaks. That's Dierks Bentley's festival, but it's tied into Live Nation and BOC as well. But that's a little different setup the way they do that. So I don't know whether it's going to be safe or not. I just, you leave people not trusting you,
Yeah.
is ultimately what happens.
Yeah.
And, I think that's unfortunate for not only, people in Michigan, but, you get a ton of people from Canada, you get a ton of
Oh,
people
yeah.
from Ohio, from
Yeah.
Indiana, all through the Midwest, and people come from other states even farther. I mean,
Right.
I've met people from Florida and
Who is the Shetty Cooler guy that we met at Faster Horses last year. He was from like Washington. He wanted us to come out to Watershed.
Yep.
So he came all the way from Washington,
Yep.
out far out west, as far as you can be, just to come to Faster Horses.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I don't know. I've not got a solid commitment out of Jesse at this point, but I've got a partial, I believe, commitment. But my plan for 2025 is CMA Fest again.
It's a good festival.
Yeah. What are your plans, Jesse?
I'm waiting on my my travel agent to line everything up and figure it out for me to let me know if it's feasible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reality is, and that's our group of friends has
I'm
been
pretty
talking.
sure I sent you like 4 listings from that week.
Yeah. No, you
So
did.
I'm actively searching for places. So
Right. No, that's why I said I mean I got like a full commitment, but a partial commitment.
Do you want 100% like Dan, which only means 50-50?
No, I want 100% from Jesse. I know Dan's 100% a 50-50.
Yeah, right.
But no, I mean we did CMA Fest before.
50th anniversary, baby.
And it's a great time. Tons and tons and tons of music. You know, all the music you want and then some.
Mhm.
So, and the reality is you can do, if you do CMA Fest right, you can do CMA Fest for the same price you could do Faster Horses, but you could go for a week instead of a weekend.
Right.
So,
right. And see probably more artists that way too.
100% more. Yeah.
And
sure.
autographs and meet and greets and
Yep.
meet a lot of people that wouldn't be at Faster Horses. You know, what do we meet? Reba McEntire. We freaking met Randy Travis, you know, like people that don't go and do the touring scene and everything like that.
Yep.
You know, you're in Music City, so everybody shows up for that thing. So
right. So
you know what the thing that which I'm not saying that I'm not going, and I'm not saying that I am, because I want to leave it. I want to leave you on the back burner or leave you cliffhanging.
Yeah.
Is that so? We went to CMA Fest for the 50 year, right? Which was 3 years ago.
2
years. This is the 53rd, or is this the 52nd? Good question. Regardless, is that what I really wanted to do? And you know, Matt, you guys go to Nashville damn near every single year and have been for years upon years upon years. You go multiple times a year.
Yep.
My only time in Nashville prior to CMA Fest, we went for my birthday a few years prior to that. But I really wanted to experience Nashville like with Matt and our group without CMA Fest, because Nashville in itself is such a badass town. It's such a cool strip that you get to walk up and down Broadway, dip into all these different bars, and they always have live music. It doesn't matter where you go, there's live music going on. And that's, you know, with this podcast, we love to highlight, you know, up and comers, and that's where you get to see them. Is a lot of people move to Nashville trying to break into the scene, and they're going to be playing in those bars, you know, on a Tuesday, not just because it's CMA Fest. And so I was hoping that we were going to get to experience Nashville on a Tuesday without the extra 90,000, 100,000 people that are going to be there for CMA Fest, which is going to make it 150,000 people, because there's usually about 50,000 people on Broadway or, you know, in Nashville at any given time.
So I just checked. Their website doesn't say what number this is, but I'm trying to. It would have been 2 years ago that we went.
Okay, so this would be 52 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last year was the first. Yeah. Okay. So, but that doesn't negate the fact that CMA Fest is freaking amazing and phenomenal, and you get to do a lot of stuff and meet a lot of people and see a lot of music. So
and CMA Fest, let's back up real quick because I said we'd go for a week. CMA Fest is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is
right,
the actual
4 days.
CMA Fest. But there's so much other stuff going on that week leading up to it. The
Sure.
Celebrity Rock and Jock softball game, all of these artists that do their fan club parties and smaller concerts and you name it. So there's a ton of stuff to do for the week.
Right.
For not a lot of money, basically what you'd spend going to Faster Horses Thursday through Sunday.
Right. You can get a hotel room down there as opposed to just going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can get it for Monday through Monday for pretty much the same price as just the weekend. So,
yep. So,
drinks don't get any cheaper though.
No, but you just pregame. We mastered that.
There you go.
So, stepping back away from that, though, I mean, we got other stuff coming up.
Yeah.
First concert of the year. It's been a slow start to the year. Will be different for me than it will be for Jesse, unless he decides that he'd like to join us.
Winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, Megan and I will be going to see Mark Chestnut and Lori Morgan on Valentine's Day at Soaring Eagle in Mount Pleasant. So,
is that a heart?
No, that's a terrible heart. You need to. That's a little bit better. There you go. God, pay attention to Post Malone. He nails it every time.
Yeah, he's a postie, man. I don't got that down.
Right.
He's got way more heart than I do.
So that'll be the first concert of the year, and we're just not far away from that. This episode will air before that for sure. So that'll be the first one for me. Who knows whether or not Jesse and his lovely bride Tasha will join us or not. It wasn't something that we had necessarily planned on doing, but it was some concert tickets that I won, and there's no such thing as not going to a concert when the concert tickets are free.
That's true.
So
that was from Susan, huh?
No.
Oh, never mind.
No, that was WTCM.
Oh, you cheated on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sometimes you got to.
Yeah. I mean, when people are giving out free tickets, you go wherever you can get them.
Yeah, there ain't no shame in my game. I'll follow radio stations out of state if I can win free concert tickets.
Right. I thought the first concert of the year was going to be...
That's going to be a good one.
The one that I bought tickets like last year in June for, and we've been waiting for. So,
yep.
Which, do you know that when I bought those tickets, that she was playing in the smaller venue of this place because it was her headlining show?
Right.
But it's before her song came out, but we knew because we went to CMA Fest a couple years ago, saw this girl. We've talked about her 100 times. I made a prediction that is looking more and more like I know what I'm talking about. But the beautiful Ella Langley is playing at the Intersection in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought those tickets. As soon as they came out, I bought those right away. And they had her in the smaller event hall. And then she dropped Excuse Me, and which skyrocketed to #1 billboards, just kind of put her on the map, which she should have been on the map well before that if you guys would have been listening to us and taking our
100%.
advice. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they must have upgraded her to the main event hall because she just started her tour. I seen the other day she sold out Des Moines, Iowa, like the basketball arena or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, we're getting to go see Ella, baby.
Yeah, and that's also in February.
Yep.
So for me, it'd be the first two concerts of the year in February, and potentially first two for Jesse as well, but at least one for sure. Yep.
27th. Yeah. Didn't we go to another one already? I'm checking my calendars right now.
Did we? I don't think we did. Not in January.
Did I just see some live music somewhere? No, I must be thinking back like last fall and stuff like that. So, yep.
So,
we were supposed to go to Muscadine Bloodline last fall, and that concert got postponed.
Old
Because
62.
an old
Remember?
60 got postponed, and we did our Y'all Need Music Christmas party was during when they actually rescheduled the old 60 for us. So unfortunately we didn't get to see that, but
Yeah, because we
Muscadine
already had
Bloodline,
plans.
yeah, they Muscadine Bloodline, they got picked up by Posty
Yep.
and went on his F1 Trillion tour with him, and then they rescheduled it for this past weekend, and stuff didn't
Looked
work
like
out.
a great show. I know Drew Hale was in attendance.
Was he?
Yep.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
super bummed to miss out on some of those. But we did. If you follow the socials, you know that you can also join us in Cadillac on April 4th at the Venue
sir.
Event Center in Cadillac for Brian Martin.
Yes,
And,
sir.
so freaking pumped for that show. I've been a Brian Martin fan for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and just like such, I don't even know the word to use. Like, deep doesn't really cut it for like lyrics for Brian Martin.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned before what a like lyric snob I am. But man, dude just kills it. And so I've seen him in the region a couple of times, like shows, but it just didn't work. Like sometimes one day, maybe if I win the Mega Millions or Powerball, like then I can just travel the country and go to concerts that I want to go to. But like sometimes it just doesn't work, right? And what do you do? I'm also I don't know if you know, but so we've already got tickets for Brian Martin Venue Event Center. Tickets are still available, so if you're anywhere around and want to see that
Cadillac,
show,
Michigan, baby,
we'll be there. Come find us, say hey, what's up? But Creed Fisher is also at the Venue Event Center in March, and I would love to add that one into the mix as well.
That'd be great.
And start the year off right, and just hit concert after concert after concert, like we were supposed to do in 2024 that didn't happen.
We hit quite a few concerts in 2024.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
No, I've been a Brian Martin fan, for quite some time. He gained a lot of traction, it seemed like, at the beginning of last year and the year prior, the end of that year. Gosh, I remember driving up to Matt's place up in Petoskey last year, or the year prior, and I think his song, his newest song, just had come out, and just kind of blew up with it. And We Ride, and I was like, hell yeah! Like, this dude is just like, I'm so glad that like he was starting to gain traction and
mainstream.
Yeah. And I remember I listened to like all his old discs or tracks that he had put out well before then that I'd heard and listened to and liked, and the entire way up there I was playing it, and I remember because I was like, Dan had never heard of him. I didn't believe at that point, and I was like, dude, you gotta listen to this guy. He's amazing. And and the really cool part was that he did a song with Frank Foster like years ago, and that's Dan's guy, his favorite. So I was like, if he says he doesn't like this guy, I have to play this song for him. And I think he forgets about that when these concert tickets came up at the Venue Event Center.
He always does.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about that guy. And I was like, Dan, like, no, you do like him. Like, me and you have listened to him many times before, and you said that you liked him. You just playing hard to get.
Well, I don't know that it's that, but Megan is that way as well. I know Carl is. When I said to Megan, I'm like, holy shit, Brian Martin's the Venue Event Center in Cadillac, which we've been wanting to uh, figure out a good show to go to there. Want to check out the venue. We've never been before. We love checking out new, smaller venues. I mean, that's always, as much as we talk about like the bigger festivals and stuff, because you can get a lot more artists at a time. The smaller artists or the smaller venues are always better shows with the artists, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, Megan, you want to go see Brian Martin? And she, messaged me back and she's like, I don't know who that is. And I said, yes, you do. Just Google him real quick. And she messaged me back and she's like, oh, you're right. I do know who that is. I like him. She's like, but Carl's the same way too, where they don't remember artists' names, right? Like they know the songs, but they don't necessarily know the artist's name. And for me, when I take notice of an artist, right, the first thing I do is go look for more stuff from them. And so I'm like searching their name, like, oh, I want to kind of deep dive and see some other, music. So like, for example, with TikTok, if I'm scrolling TikTok at night and come across an artist, usually it's 30 seconds, maybe a minute at most that you're getting of a song. And I'm like, oh, I like that sound. Right. So then I go to their page and go look for other videos with other songs. And if I find a couple more, I'm like, all right, I like that sound. Now I'm going to jump over to YouTube,
Spotify, YouTube,
watch a couple more. Well, my go-to is always, I have this weird progression, right?
Yeah.
So I do the TikTok. I go deeper on TikTok or on Instagram. I'm the same way on Instagram too, if I catch them on Reels or whatever. Then I jump over to YouTube and I'll watch, 3, 4, 5 of their, videos on YouTube. And as long as I'm still digging them at that point, then in the morning when I go to work, they're on my Spotify on the way to work and the way home. Because then I get, 20, 25-minute drive to work, 20, 25-minute drive home to kind of dig in a little bit deeper. And then it's like, okay, yep, this person's cool. Like, I like them. And so, we've got several new artist spotlights coming up this season for season 2. And so once they kind of go through that progression with me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start building a profile on them so that we can talk about this person, because I want to share them with, the people that watch our podcast, that watch our
with
socials. Right. And so like, that's all I ever want to do is share good music. And I mean, that's the one thing, like, I'm not going to ever blow smoke up your ass, I guess, and say like, oh, I really dig
They're so
this
great
person.
Right.
No, I'm not going to be trailing off, like looking the other way, like, oh yeah, they were good.
Cowboy Carter is so good. They won Grammys.
Yeah, you guys should
them.
go listen to the country music album of the year according to the Grammys. No, you should not do that.
You should listen to us.
No, the reality is, on that note, Grammy means jack shit to me now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can be like, oh, they're a 5-time Grammy Award winner. 0 fucks given. Literally 0.
Yeah.
They have lost all credibility.
Yep.
It's just facts. There's no freaking way that you can give album of the year in country music to Beyonce when she herself even said that it wasn't a country music album.
Right.
Like,
especially when you have Stapleton, Lainey Wilson, Post Malone, who has done everything in country right now. Like, if you're up against a bunch of turds or something like that, then something, but
listen, there is a ton, a ton of actual country music artists that deserve that award 100 million times more than she does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ella Langley, one of them. You know what I mean? Like there's people that are still on. Listen, there's people that are going to be coming up on our artist spotlights that are night and day, hands down, way better than Beyonce could ever hope to be with country music.
Right.
Plain and simple. And it's not anything about like Beyonce herself. Like there's lots of people that say that Post Malone's not country. Post Malone is a goddamn hillbilly. Right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what kind of music he's done before.
Right.
Like he's walking around barefoot on stage, you know, or wearing some Crocs. Like the dude is redneck.
Cut off.
Plain and simple.
Jean jorts.
Yeah.
Jean
and,
shorts.
You know, I mean, if you listen to his stuff over the years, he's done interviews and always spoke highly of country music, that he loves country music. And, you know,
he put out a statement like 8 years ago. They dug it back up when he had his like dreadlocks and, you know, well, he still has his grill, but he said that he's going to do this genre of music for 10 years and then he's making a country album because that's what he wanted to do in the beginning. It was just that country wasn't cool at the time or whatever. And they're like, no, you don't want to do country. That's a career killer. You want to do whatever genre it was that he did. But he always said that he wanted to go back and do a country album because that was his inspiration as a young kid. That's how he grew up, listening to country music and aspiring to be a country music singer.
Right. And I'm pretty sure it was Shania that he did an interview years ago, and they'd asked him about a celebrity crush. And that's who his celebrity crush was Shania Twain. Right. So like I would wager, you know,
him and I both.
Pretty good amount of money that you know, probably 99% of his fan base at that time was like, Who?
Right.
Who's his crush on?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it ain't Cardi B.
Right. So, you know, if Beyonce wanted to actually delve into the country music scene, you can do that, right? Like the country music scene is very welcoming, you know, to a ton of people. Are there some old hard ass people that think no, that a lot of stuff nowadays isn't country music? Sure. But, you know, it's like, I try and remind people like that 20 years ago, the old timers were saying that wasn't country music either.
Right. Oh, right? Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so it's always been that way. Country music has always evolved from its earliest days, where its roots came from gospel and blues. And so, you know, the Black community has always played a huge role in country music, whether it be behind the scenes or not. And so that doesn't have anything to do with it at all. It's not a skin tone issue whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, earlier this year, no, because we're into a new year now. But you know, we went and saw Tanner Adell. You weren't at that show. I think it was me and Carl and Ryla went to see Tanner Adell.
We seen her at Faster Horses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she played after Sadie Bass.
Yeah. But, you know, there's people that are like giving themselves to country music. And I think when you do that, people can tell whether you're genuine or not. Right. And that's where like Jelly Roll skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Right. Coming from being a rapper, right, to country music, but he was super genuine.
He gave respect where respect was due. Growing up in Nashville, like he wanted to be that, but he said he couldn't sing, and so he went to rapping.
Right. But when he did, he embraced the fans, and was like, I want that. This is what I want. And anybody who seen him live, talked to him, went to any of his shows, whatever, knew right
Oh
away,
yeah.
like 100% this guy is genuine. There
Hmm.
is nothing genuine about Cowboy Carter.
No.
It was just, I'm a big name. I can do this, and I'm going to do this.
Well, I think it was that Beyonce. I mean, she is a one hell of a singer, performer, entertainer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she is super talented in what she does. I think the biggest beef was that she had never won album of the year in any of the genres that she was singing in, even though she was probably very well deserving of it. And I know, I remember seeing many times. I mean, Jay-Z, Kanye West, they would get up when Taylor Swift won it the one year.
Yeah.
And they've been backlashing and saying that, it should be her. And I think that this was their one shot of, oh my gosh, like, they're accepting everybody into country, and country's cool again. So I 100% believe that the only reason that her album skyrocketed, she had one of the, I mean, that album was on the billboards for one of the top country albums for the number of streams that it had. It wasn't country music fans that were streaming it. It
It
was
was
her.
Beyonce fans.
Yeah, it was her
Right.
hundreds of million fans for her other thing. And it's same thing with me. Like, if Jamie Johnson wanted to do a rock and roll album, of course we're going to go and listen to it, whether we agree if he should be doing rock and roll or not. You're going to go and listen to it. You're going to stream it. You're going to support it because you're a fan of that person.
Well, let me pump the brakes on you there for just a second. So, if if Jamie Johnson did rock, I would, he could pull that off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If Jamie Johnson said that he was putting out a rap album, okay,
Ooh.
and it wasn't going to be country rap, he was going to do like a rap album, I'd be like,
No.
can somebody please get a hold of him and tell him let's not do this?
Yeah, but you would
Right.
still stream it and listen to it just to see if he had it.
Maybe
you would.
once. I would.
Well,
It's not something that.
Right, you wouldn't stream it, but when you got a million, 10, 20 million followers, and that counts as a stream, every time you listen,
Yeah, that's true.
so that's how I think
I
it
feel
got
like
there.
I feel like everyone with at least like 3 or 4 active brain cells knows that that was a bullshit call.
Oh yeah.
On album of the year. It
Yeah.
just it could have been like a general category album of the year based on like sales or whatever. Fine,
Right.
whatever. I don't care.
Well, I was fine with her winning album of the year because she won album of the year out of all categories.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, that's
Because-
what I'm saying. Like if you want to do it there, whatever. But that's not country.
Right. You
album of the
don't
year.
let her win country album of the year when it's not really country just because she put the word cowboy in front of it.
Right. Oh, you were
Right.
on
You
a
don't
horse
take down
with a-
juggernauts. Yeah, you don't take down juggernauts like Stapleton and Lainey Wilson and then Post
Cody
Malone
Johnson. Like I mean,
Right.
like the,
Yeah, you
the,
don't-
the list goes on and on.
right.
Overwhelmingly deserving talent in the country music genre.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
And yeah, to me, it serves no purpose,
Right.
other than it was kind of the grant because she didn't win anything at the CMA. She didn't win anything at the ACMs. And so I think the Grammys were like, just this is their middle finger to the CMAs and the ACMs, like, oh, we think that she should have won, and so
Yeah.
we're going to give her this. And if that helps her sleep good at night to have that statue on her shelf, like whatever, I don't care. It ain't gonna be anything that I lose sleep over.
Right.
But I can assure you that you will never catch me tuning into the Grammys. Just won't happen.
or even like you said, it doesn't hold no, stature that you're a Grammy award winning artist now. Now, if you won it for being, you like that album of the year, maybe, but not in a genre that you don't belong in.
Yeah, well, to
So,
me, it calls into question everything they do.
right. Is it a
Right? Like,
popularity contest at this point? Is
yeah,
it
is
how
it
many streams she had? Is it,
we're
who?
just going to give it because we think that somebody else should have and they didn't? Because that's
Right.
what it looks like to me.
Because Jay-Z has been bitching about it and they're billionaires. And so,
I mean, I feel like they probably got some other things they should be worrying about other than
absolutely.
Grammys with their buddy Diddy. But what do I know?
Right.
I just hear rumors.
Rumors.
But my mom always raised me that the apple don't fall far from the tree. And,
Wasn't it was it Al Dean that came out when they were shopping their record around? She was trying to jump into the scene. I think he did an interview and he said that Jay-Z and her showed up on Broadway and showed up to all the big names, bars and clubs and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure Al Dean said that he got offered like $50,000 from Jay-Z to collaborate on a song with her to try to get her some street cred. And he was like, get the hell out of my bar. Like, like,
yeah, I don't know about that one, but it wouldn't surprise me for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
so
yeah. How else do you get all these other people to collab with her? I mean, besides the fact that it's Beyonce, but it's like you're putting your name out there and jumping on a track with her that is kind of a slap in the face to actual real country artists.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. And I feel like I've given her more time on our podcast than she deserves. So let's move on from that because we're a country music podcast, and once we air our grievances, we can move on. But look for her to be hanging out with Diddy before long, or Jay-Z being there. I don't know. That's what they say. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Nice.
Yeah. So, that'd be like me, Jesse drinks when he parties. I party with Jesse, right? If I just started like, Jesse drinks? I didn't know that. And then everyone would be like, you drank with him when you guys partied.
Allegedly.
Again, I don't know what I don't know. I don't run in those circles.
Right.
So
I plead the fifth.
Who knows? Maybe the Grammys will be questioning their judgment later on, if some more indictments come down.
Maybe.
If it's not true, you didn't hear it here.
Yep. If it is true, you definitely hear it here.
Right. So back to the real country music, because we got to wrap this one up. We got, like I said, we got some shows coming up. We'll certainly be sharing some stuff on the socials in regards to those shows. We've got a bunch of new artist spotlights coming up, and when we do
that's where you guys come in too on these new artist spotlights. If you guys, we've had a few fans. I actually just talked to one earlier today. That anytime you guys find somebody worth taking a listen to, shoot us a message, hit us in the DMs, comment on a post, anything. Let us check these people out. We're pretty good at finding these new artists just because that's what we look for in music. But if you guys think that we haven't heard of somebody or want us to check them out or want us to maybe get them on the podcast here, make sure you guys are hitting us up and letting us know that.
Right. And sometimes, when I say new artist spotlight, right, I guess that's kind of misleading because usually they're not new artists, right?
Correct.
They've usually been grinding it out already.
Yeah.
But, we happen to come across them and they're not to like that, well-known level yet.
Right.
They might be touring like regionally versus nationally
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
So they don't. It doesn't have to be like somebody brand new that just dropped their first song ever.
Right.
It can be somebody that's got 2 or 3 albums out, maybe that just hasn't like hit that. I always think back to like an interview with Chris Jansen, where he was grinding it out for years and years and years, and somebody had asked him about some of these artists that just like blow up overnight, and he's like, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that it took me over 10 years to get this. I appreciate it that much.
Oh yeah.
More.
Right. Lainey Wilson.
So there's artists like that are grinding it out. And so that's when we do these new artist spotlights. Some of them are going to be newer. They might have 2 or 3 songs. Some of them might be 2 or 3 albums. And so it's just somebody that's still out there grinding, trying to make that dream happen, and is putting out good tunes.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody that, they might be, the opener of an opener for, one of these smaller venues. I mean, we found May Estes that way, 2 years ago, when she was the opener for the opener of Jackson Dean. That was a newbie at the time, and it was, a concert that we had never heard of her before, and went and saw it, and we're just blown away, and we're like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to hear this girl, and so awesome that she's, hitting them steps right now.
And we knew she was going to blow up too, and she has had one hell of a year. And I think 2025 is going to be even bigger and better for her by a long shot. But that's what we love to see, right? Is we want to see good music when we go see live music. We want to hear good music, and we want to share that music with other people that, maybe you haven't heard of them yet. Maybe you have, maybe you just seen a clip on a TikTok and you're like, oh, that's cool. But you didn't like keep playing or give it, a ton more attention. You didn't do the map
progression.
Yeah. You didn't follow the map progression down the rabbit hole, I guess, of an artist. But
my progression, I got to get that one out there. I hear them on like a TikTok or a reel, and if I like the song, I instantly go to Spotify and look them up, and they always got like their top 5 songs. Don't just hit them top 5 songs, because those might be the songs streaming right now. A lot of these people, like Matt was saying, they might have a few EPs. They might have, a couple albums from before. I know one of our new artist spotlights we did in season 1 was Sadie Bass, and she had all kinds of songs, and she's like kind of great, gaining some traction right now, and she's putting them down for an album. So, a lot of these artists might have multiple other CDs that might not be on their top 5 streaming, because they only got maybe 5,000, monthly streamers or something like that. So
the other thing you got to do is when we tell you an artist's name, you've got to listen carefully to what that name is, so that you don't go to Spotify and look up the wrong artist and stream them and then be like, no, they're not that great. And then question me on it and be like, that's
damn it, Dan.
That's not even the name I said to you.
Damn it, Dan.
Damn it, Jesse.
Hey, it just so happens that there are 2 artists out there that are up and comers that are real close in names.
They got the same last name.
Same as yours.
Right. So there's a little hint. If any of you know my last name, we've got a new artist spotlight coming soon from an artist with the same last name as me.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully he's better to sound and listen to than this guy.
Hopefully. I'm sure he is. I mean, I know he is, because I can't sing to save my life. And
there's video of that.
He's got a great sound. And listen,
there's videos of that.
If you want me to put that shit out, I'll put that shit out, because
I mean, you might go viral on TikTok with that.
we would make people's ears bleed.
I mean, half the stuff you see on TikTok makes my ears bleed or makes my eyes hurt from seeing it.
Yeah.
Don't stop it from going viral. It's like a train wreck or a car accident. Like, you can't look away. You're like, oh God.
Yeah, there may or may not be a lot of videos of Jesse and I would say overly intoxicated.
I mean, you were for sure.
Both of us were. I've watched those videos. Our eyes are barely open. Our eyes are barely open. It is not pretty. I deleted several of them.
I was tired.
But yeah, it's not pretty. But maybe we do some kind of challenge where some of those content creators say, if this video gets a certain number of likes, I'll put this out.
Yeah,
maybe
there we
do
go.
Something like that in the future and embarrass the shit out of ourselves with that. So who knows? Lots to come in
season 2, baby.
And who knows what kind of ridiculous shit you might see, I guess, as a result of it. One thing's for sure, we'll bring you honest, real, true feedback on artists, and we don't BS stuff. So if we say they're good artists, they're good artists. If we say they don't deserve a Grammy, they don't deserve a Grammy. That's just facts. So at any rate, lots of great shit coming this year. Brought to you as always by Gypsy Vodka. So make sure that's your drink of choice. Gypsy Spirits makes a ton of different things, including gin, rum, bourbon, and vodka, as well as their clean cocktails and
mulligans.
Yeah, you just can't go wrong with Gypsy, and we love Gypsy Vodka. We love the guys over there. They've been great to us, and in turn, we'll support them. Yeah. So, at any rate, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode, and we'll see you guys again next week with another episode of Y'all Need Music Podcast. Until then, catch you later.
Out.